It's autumn. That came round so quickly. It has been a year of extremes, but what does autumn hold and what should we be doing? It's all about preparing our gardens for the end of the season, so it's ready for next year. And as our gardens wind down, the weather winds up. There's still a few tricks up its sleeve. So it's now time for us to meet our expert, Rob Jacobs, who works here at the gorgeous Waterperry Gardens. I want to find out from him how the weather's been for him this year and what he's doing to prepare for the end of the season. Plus, we will end as we started, looking at our lawns and the all-important last cut. So Rob, this place is absolutely beautiful. Who would believe we are sat here in autumn with no jackets on? It's amazing.
It's been an amazing year, incredible year so far.
So tell me about the gardens here. How much do you look after? What do you do, the Horticultural Manager?
I'm the Horticultural Manager, so we're an 80-acre estate. We've got 8 acres open to the general public. And so my task is to try and bring it all together because we have orchards, we have nurseries, we have a garden centre, and we have the ornamental gardens. And then I've got Pat, our brilliant head gardener. She runs a head garden and I come in and help where she wants help and where I can help with her. But it's generally trying to bring everything together.
Especially with the weather we have had this year. How's it been for you guys?
Oh, it's a year of year. Well, it was looking good, say February.
Yes.
Things were looking okay, bit wet, but okay. But once we reached that spring, it was so cold.
Suddenly got cold.
Really damaging. Our orchards, we lost all our apple crop. This is the 3rd time we've had a major hit on our crop.
Wow.
But this is the worst of the 3. So I really want to know.
So you're
what's
really
up.
late frost.
It was
extended and prolonged.
The late frost is the extension. So we didn't get the lowest temperatures this time, but it was never warm enough for the insects to get around, and it wasn't warm enough for the pollen to grow, and then we were getting little frost, and it just wasn't in weather conditions to induce you to actually pollinate the fruit. And no flower, no fruit, simple as that.
And how has summer been for you guys? What's your thoughts on summer?
Well, odd. It's it seems to be warm for a week, then it goes back to being relatively normal, then it's actually wet. The grass has never gone really yellow. It never really stopped growing until now. We're late September and it's a high summer lawn at the moment. It's just on the, if it wasn't for the fact it's only 21s and 22s, this lawn would have gone completely yellow. Wow,
so we are going to be needing to be cutting our lawns a lot longer this year because of the warmth and the...
If we miss out that spring, we're going to have to. I mean, the last time we mow, I suppose, thinking about it, will be 2nd, 3rd week in October, is normally when we would stop mowing. And I really don't know what's going to... If this heat continues and it turns wet, the grass will grow again.
And so autumn is now here?
Theoretically here. Yeah, it's here. There's a little bit of colour, but not much at the moment. And things that should be fully coloured. We've got a huge, great big American horse chestnut, and it should now be in colour. And this dry weather has taken all the leaf. So it's lost all its leaf, dropped them all. It's really sad. And it is an old tree, but it's worrying. There's lots of young trees that I've had in for 2 or 3 years. And by now, I stopped looking at them for water, things like that. And then suddenly I'm walking up and they're shrivelling up. I'm only happy that it's late in the season, so I don't think it's going to damage them. And
so what is the plan for you and the garden for the coming weeks as we head into the autumn months? What should people be doing in their gardens now?
Well, the big thing is once the main herbaceous border is over, that border, there's a lot of work to do in it, so we have to get that cut down. We should be, if we had an apple crop, picking apples like mad. We're literally just picking... We're going out with small boxes instead of huge great big bins.
I can't believe we've lost all the apples. I've lost them in my garden too, so I kind of feel a bit better.
It's common across, seems to be the Midlands seem to have some apples, but you get down to Kent, there are no apples. So we should be apple picking. We've just finished summer pruning of our cordons and espaliers. We will be looking sort of late November into starting pruning all the apple trees, all the pear trees. That will start, normally that takes about 3 months to get through. Then I'll be looking at pruning. I actually like the winter because at the moment you can't get on with jobs because you're taking everything to just that point of flower. So Pat and her team is bringing everything to flower. So apart from deadheading, that's all you're really doing. but the actual jobs,
Yeah.
where you can actually get your teeth into things, you can't do anything with. And one of my favourite jobs is these days is pruning the wisteria arch, and there's a load of flower bud on it, so it should be good if we don't get late frost in the spring. And I'm just looking forward to pruning that and tying that all in.
And so I guess the whole of the season is slowly winding down, and the growth just gets less and less, and everything happens less frequently.
It winds down for the growth. It starts upping for set jobs, so that all those winter jobs come in. I mean, the most important job anybody could do in their garden is stand and review it and look at it and just ask yourself, is the colour now in? Did you get colour all the way through? Because if you have colour, if you have flower, that means you've got things for insects, wildlife, and you want to try and start with your snowdrops in Jan, Feb, and you want to end up with asters, sedums, brilliant plants, dry plants, and the bees and butterflies love them.
Okay, perfect. And then you think that you'll still be cutting definitely mid-October, maybe later?
Well, this is the thing I need to ask you, because
yes.
if it stays warm and if it turns wet, this grass is going to start growing again.
And this is the thing with the changing climate in the UK, our winters are just getting warmer, and we've seen that progressively. I think our 10 warmest winters have happened in the last 20 years, and the wettest ones also as well. So we will be seeing the jet stream further north. It'll take a lot longer for it to slip south, and the jet stream divides the cold that's waiting in the north from the winter and the warm that's still hanging on in the south from the summer. And we're just finding that it just stays to the north of us for a lot longer. And then when it dips back down across us, because there's these big storms that come from America, when they have their hurricanes, the hurricane season is meant to end in November. We often see the tail end of those. That can carry on until December. So we look at these, big prolonged dry spells. It's really, really warm, and then we'll get the big dumps of wet. And it takes a lot longer for the cold and the frost to arrive. We won't get the cold and the frost probably until, a few of them in November and December, but really it's the start of next year we get those really big hard frosts.
It's not long ago, I remember 1 November, and it literally had a frost every day in November, and they're gone now.
Yeah,
these days.
it's every year is different, and you may get a blip, but the overall trend is warmer, wetter, fewer frosts, less snow. So one of the most fun things to do here must be cutting these amazing hedges.
Aren't there one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been using the Honda Hedge Trimmer. It's a 4-stroke, which is the most interesting thing, because I'd never used the 4-stroke before. There's always been 2-stroke engines, and the 4-stroke, the nicest thing is it has a pop, 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 rather than that really slightly annoying, you won't know, but 2-stroke engines, they sort of got this clattery noise to them. And also, when you finish with a 2-stroke engine, you smell of the oil that you've thrown out into the environment. With a 4-stroke, you're not doing that, and thus you don't smell of the fumes you get off it. And the cut is lovely and sharp this year, and it's given us some lovely lines.
So you have a lot of lawn here.
We have.
How do you keep on top of it?
Well, we're using the Honda. It's a pedestrian mower, and it's the nice thing, if you ever want to pick a mower, you pick a Honda, because the way that engine starts, it is beautiful. You don't even do a full pull on the start cord. It's about half to a quarter pull.
My husband is always there, like,
yeah, that's what you don't do with a Honda. It was a proper professional bit of kit. There's no question. This is heavier, but all Honda engines are brilliant for that, and they're known for that. It's great on the settings, that you can go up to 5 settings, and we're going to be lifting the settings up as we go into autumn.
So we start with low and then you
if
go up.
If the grass grows for us, please.
Yes.
We really get on massive bag. You can cut loads of grass with it. So believe it or not, that is an issue when you're cutting this many lawns.
Oh yes,
always
of course.
Emptying. Yeah. I just love it, and I love the fact that I don't have to keep running back to other people that can't start the mower, because it's so reliable.
And you love a stripe. I've seen them. They're very nice.
It's a bloke thing, okay? Not everybody loves a stripe at Waterperry, but
okay.
It does split between the genders, I'm afraid.
And you said about cutting, and we are now finding that the growing season is extending. So you may know this already, 5 degrees is the magic number that you need for grass to grow. So
Right,
when
I
it
didn't
goes
know
below,
that.
so that's the average through the day and the night. So as
Okay.
you start to get into the colder winter months, that's when it reduces and you stop getting the new leaf grow. But in the middle of the 18th century, 19th century, we had 240 days of growing degree days in the UK.
Wow.
That has now extended by around about 6 more weeks. So we are cutting earlier and we're now cutting later, basically every year. And why is the last cut so important? Why is it so important to do it so well?
What you're trying to, with grass, obviously grass, the tighter you cut it, the more stress you're applying to it, because it wants to grow like everything else. And that's, if you can allow the grass to grow and dominate that space, it helps keep the weeds down, it helps keep health into the actual lawns. You want a healthy lawn to go into the winter, because it's going to stop growing and there's a point where it will start going back before the spring starts. And
Right.
you want nice, healthy, bigger the grass, the deeper the roots, all those sort of things to get through the winter months before it starts growing again.
So final top tip for autumn as we head into winter.
For me, it's got to be running all the fuel out of the mower.
Okay.
If you run it all the way through the tank, out through the carb, when you come back to next spring, fill it up with fresh fuel, boom, it'll start for you every time.
Perfect.
Thing I need to know though,
Yeah?
is when is the last time am I going to mow so I can run it dry?
The all-important forecast, where we are here in the glorious warmth and sunshine, but now here's what the outlook is for the weeks a month ahead. As we head towards the end of the gardening season, it's the end of our Honda Get the Mow House series. I hope you've enjoyed following us through the year and looking at what to do in your garden and how you can use the products to get the very most out of it as well. So to answer Rob's question, the forecast, well, the outlook remains mild for the next few weeks, at least the next month, with temperatures above average. Northern areas weather-wise closer to low pressure, meaning more likely to see rain and showers here. Southern areas closer to high pressure, keeps that rain at bay, so we're more likely to be drier and brighter. And with the warmer outlook, we are still going to be cutting that grass. So last cut, it looks like it could be well into November, but as always, a big difference between north and south of at least a month.